Eldermoor? Eldermoor, quaint, quiet, a village where children played by the pond and villagers chatted over garden fences. But beneath the surface an unease lingered. Every 10 years it returned. A fear whispered on the wind, the fear of the lights. The old folks whispered tales, stories told to frighten children, stories of those lights and the people they took. Every decade the lights appeared, every decade someone vanished. They began as a shimmer on the horizon, barely noticeable to the naked eye. Just a faint glimmer that could easily be mistaken for a trick of the light. A distortion of the night sky, as if the stars themselves were being rearranged by an unseen hand. The villagers watched in awe and fear, unsure of what to make of the strange phenomenon. Then they grew, pulsing like a heartbeat, each flash more intense than the last. The lights seemed to synchronize with the rhythm of the earth, creating an eerie, otherworldly spectacle. An unnatural aurora painting the frightened faces of the village in shades of green and purple. The colors danced across the sky, casting an eerie glow that made the familiar landscape look alien and foreboding. 10 years ago, it was Old Man Hemlock, vanished from his rocking chair without a trace. One moment he was there, the next, gone, as if swallowed by the night itself. The only sign, a faint sulphurous smell lingering in the air. It was a scent that clung to the nostrils, a reminder of something ancient and malevolent. The same smell that now permeated the air, raising goosebumps on the back of Detective John Riley's neck. He had heard the stories, but experiencing it firsthand was something else entirely. The air was thick with tension, and the detective couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him from the shadows. John Riley, new to Eldermoor, scoffed at the stories. Just superstition, he'd thought. He was a man of logic, a detective who believed in evidence and facts. The tales of eerie lights and mysterious disappearances seemed like nothing more than the product of overactive imaginations in a sleepy village. But the fear in their eyes, it was real. The villagers spoke in hushed tones, their voices trembling as they recounted the strange occurrences. It was clear that something had shaken them to their core, something that defied rational explanation. And now, as the lights pulsed above, he felt a chill crawl down his spine. The sky was alive with an otherworldly glow, casting an eerie light over the village. John couldn't deny the unsettling feeling that gripped him, a sense that he was on the brink of uncovering something far beyond his understanding. He'd thrown himself into the village's history, searching for a rational explanation. Old newspaper clippings, missing person reports. A pattern emerged. He spent countless hours in the dimly lit library, poring over dusty records and ancient texts, hoping to find a clue that would make sense of the chaos. A terrifying pattern that coincided with the appearance of the lights. Each incident was meticulously documented, each disappearance eerily timed with the strange lights in the sky. The more he uncovered, the more he realized that this was no mere coincidence. He had to find the connection before it was too late. The clock was ticking, and John knew that the answers he sought were buried somewhere in the village's dark past. With a renewed sense of urgency, he vowed to uncover the truth no matter where it led him. A map tucked away in the village archives caught his eye. A network of tunnels crisscrossing beneath the village. Forgotten drainage tunnels, the records claimed, but what if they weren't forgotten? John grabbed a flashlight and headed to the old well, rumoured to be one of the tunnel entrances. The air grew colder as he descended, the smell of sulphur intensifying. He was getting close to the truth and perhaps to the missing villagers. The streets were narrow, winding through the village like a maze of secrets. The air was thick with anticipation, a palpable tension that seemed to cling to every corner. He found it. A crudely drawn symbol on the village wall, its lines jagged and hurried, matching the one he'd seen in old newspaper clippings about the disappearances. Each article told a story of someone who had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only these cryptic symbols. He was in the right place. The ground beneath his feet began to vibrate, a subtle tremor that grew stronger with each passing second. The lights above pulsed brighter, flickering as if they were alive, reacting to some unseen force. A low hum filled the air, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, growing louder, closer, as if something was approaching, something unseen but undeniably present. He was out of time. Panic set in, his heart racing as he realized the danger he was in. He had to get out. Now! His instinct screamed at him to run, to escape whatever was coming. But as he turned to leave, he saw it. A figure, shadowy and indistinct, standing at the end of the alley. A faint light at the end of the alley. And then, darkness. The light vanished, leaving him in complete blackness, his breath echoing in the silence.